Hey guys, I'm back, and we're going to look at 4 knives today together. Knives that we've looked at all on their own before. And I've never done a Bugout review, because I don't like the Bugout that much. But I've done a review on the Asher Nomad, on the Amare Field Bro, and the $9 Walmart thing. I will put links in the video description to each one of these individual videos if you want to check them out, if you feel like it. If not, don't. But the fact remains, unfortunately, the most popular Benchmade knife model is the Bugout. Now, I have not bought a new Benchmade in quite a while, in years, because personally I feel like their attention to detail and their quality control has gone down. No other reason. But this little guy, so the Griptilian was a nice lightweight EDC knife. The Barrage was kind of like the Griptilian in terms of construction, different blade, different handle, obviously. And then there was the Bugout. Now, you know what? I could go on for a long time describing all of the Benchmade knives that have a similar construction to the Griptilian. But the Griptilian, I think, kind of started the pattern. Plastic scales, small, partial inset steel liners, open kind of flow design, and easy to do axis lock in an EDC type package. The Griptilian initially was marketed as a black class, which is like the tactical military class. The Barrage, I think, was blue class. Blue class is the EDC, the knife for everybody. Back then, they still had a red class and a gold class. There still is a gold class, but there's no red class. But somehow, this little guy has become the most popular Benchmade model ever sold. And I really am not a big fan of it at all. I don't know, I think it's too light. I mean, just too light. And I know some people, they'll say there's no such thing as a knife that's too light. To me, it's just very, very light, a little off-center with the weight. Seeing as how this is just plastic, you can squeeze. Like a Griptilian, the scale was rugged. You couldn't do this. And I'm just not a huge fan of the blade either. But the point is, a lot of people like this. And for what you pay for a Benchmade knife, you should love it. It should be, I mean, fantastic. So these are 3 good options, I think, if you like the Bugout style and size. You don't want to pay Benchmade money. You just don't like the Bugout itself. And we're going to take a look at them. So I have these actually arranged in order of price from highest to lowest. This is the Asher Nomad. I really love the Asher Nomad. It is very similar in most respects to the Bugout. It's a little bit heavier. It's got G10 scales. It still has those inset steel liners. Nope, my mistake. Well, yes, they are, but they extend much farther to give you real stability with your handle than the Bugout does. You'll notice it doesn't have the lanyard hole the way the Bugout has towards the back. But it has M390 steel, which is great. I think M390, I might put it ahead. I would definitely put it ahead of S30V. Now, you can get a Bugout in all kinds of different handle variations now and steel variations. I'm just showing the base model. But, like I said, size, function, what it does have over the Bugout also is, in addition to being a much more reasonable price, the axis. Can't call it an axis lock on a non-Benchmade knife, but anyway, I love that these studs extend, and you'll see that as a feature on these other 2. It extends to let you get your fingers on it very easily. Now, the Bugout's not hard to get a grip on, but it's much less of a purchase of a handhold than on these. The action on it is fantastic. It's great. There is a full jade version of it. It wasn't available when I wanted this. Asher does limited drops. Big deep carry clip. I don't like this little shorty deep carry clip. Big deep carry clip, reversible left or right with a filler tab. And it's just a really convenient little EDC knife to have. Now, I don't have cutting money. I did. I had it. I put it down. grabbed the knives, and then came outside like an idiot. But I'm not walking back down this hill to get it. So it cuts beautiful, and I've done nothing with this edge. If anything, it's had a little bit of use on it, but I've done no edge care on this at all. So it's as it would be out of the box. You cut way before you even hit the slice. Let's see, you pull through. Let's check out a pull through. Little tiny bit of effort, not much. And pewing on this always sucks. Stupid soft ass wood. Hang on. Pew! 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 Okay, we had one miss pew, but really good pews. Nicely done edge. Good belly on it. For your EDC stuff, I would say it's. I mean, if it's not better, it's as good as the Bugout. You've got a pretty. I mean, the edge is very well refined. We can make our really small little fire starting stuff, or you can cut into this thing. And it's fairly comfortable. You do, when you're doing like that harder cutting, you'll feel the clip in your hand a little bit, but otherwise, not at all. And the cut here is nice and smooth with a little bit of shine to it to let us know that we've got a nice sharp edge. You may take this camping with, like, I mean, you're probably not going to be, you might whittle some wood or something, but you may take it out into the field. It may be the only knife you have when you get lost, so I like to sort of mess with it with that. Next, and this is my personal favorite of the bunch, the Amare Field Bro. It's a little bit different blade style. Whoa. A little bit different handle style, but overall it's the same size, same fury as the Bugout. Little heavier again. So yes, it does come in jade. Yes, it does. You've got your full steel liners in there, which adds to the weight, but you still have your deep carry clip, reversible left or right. It's a little bit bigger than the mini clip, the little guy. The patterning on the G10 is very good. Gives you just enough grip when you need it. It's a dragonfly logo, not a butterfly logo. Now this blade is VG10. These are also, Amare's knives are numbered. So this is number 98. Number 69. Oh, wait, really? 69. But this thing is just as easily one-handable as anything else. This one, I don't know how to describe this. It's got it's on bearings, right? But it feels like it's on washers, and that's a good thing. It's got that very smooth, like, whereas you have a knife that's just on washers, it almost feels kind of loose in a way, and if you know what I mean, you know what I mean when you use it. And that's not bad. It's a very easy action that way, but this one, you feel that smoothness, that washer smoothness. So, I really like this guy. Slice, very easy. Again, no blade maintenance done on this. I might have used it a little bit, so if anything, it should be performing worse than it would right out of the box. But it barely moves before it does the slice cut, and then pull through. Less, what's the word? It's easier to do than this guy. Still just a little tiny bit of resistance as you go through, but it's still a pretty good, like, cut right through the cord, and you've got your very fine control. It doesn't have any jimping. Oh, it does. I was saying that because I couldn't feel it that much, but very fine control for little cuts, or and again, nice smooth wood due to the good finishing of the blade. Now, all of these, by the way, with the exception of the Walmart one, these are all flat ground. This is a full flat. These are basically flat saber grinds. I really like a full flat ground knife. It's got a nice wedge property to it if you need to split small things of wood. This is going to split a log for you, obviously. But really nice slicing and good support all the way through to the spine of the blade. So this is a cool one. I carry this more than any of these ones. And then finally, we've got the $9 Walmart, which is so clearly a clone of the Bugout. I mean, I can't say clone. Clone's a bad word. I'm sorry, because clone, it would look exactly like it. But it's inspired by, it's a copy of, with some changes. So, plastic scales, just like the Bugout. The blade looks similar. A little bit different, but similar, right? You also get a deep carry clip that is reversible left or right. A better deep carry clip, in my opinion, than this little guy right here. But the construction is, you know, just very similar. Big difference is you have your steel liners that go all the way across. They're not inset. They're not inset like these other knives. They just are big flat steel liners. But it's on bearings. So for $9, you get a very one-handable knife. Centering's a little off on this one, but $9. The difference here is that you've got, you know, your Ozark Trail, which is not a great name in knives. They say it's a D2 blade. I can't prove it is or not. But you have a hollow grind blade here. In terms of comfort, it's almost exactly the same thing as the Bugout, maybe a little bit better, because it's just a little wider to fill out your hands. All of these are a little bit wider than the Bugout. So when you put it in your hand, I prefer, anyway, I prefer the wider grip. Slice, I mean, about as good as the others in this respect. Blade hardly moves before it slices through, but I can't remember the pull. I think the pull through gives us a little bit more problem. I'm not sure. Yes, much more effort required, but it still cuts fairly clean. I didn't do the pew with these guys. I'll have to do the pew. I didn't do the pew. Pew, 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 pew. Nice clean pew. Okay, always have to do the pew. Let's do the pew with this, then we'll do a little wood. Pew, 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 pew. Not as clean, but $9. For $9, I think the performance we're getting is pretty damn good. A little harder to do those little tiny. It wants to bite into the wood a little more, and I think that's maybe a product of the hollow grind. I'm not sure, but you can do your fairly light fire starting pieces and cutting in. If there is a weird looking edit, it's because the camera informed me in the middle of cutting that the SD card was full, so I had to go download from. But anyway, yeah, you can cut pretty decently with this one too. It works. I honestly, I don't think it's a factor of the steel or the hollow grind. I think it's probably just not finished as well as the other ones out of the package. I mean, that's it. I think that's probably the only reason. One thing I was curious about is the ability to throw some sparks. The Walmart one I'm not thinking is going to do well at all, because it doesn't feel like it has a very defined 90-degree edge, and it is also coated. If we get rid of that coating on the spine of the blade, I think we might have some, maybe not. Now this can be handled with a Dremel if you're really interested in doing that. You just run a Dremel along there once or twice, real light. You don't even have to press down. Just let it run along there with the sanding drum, and that will give you that edge on the spine of the blade where you could spark with very easily. But as is, not really. And again, just might be out camping. You might have a small EDC on you, an emergency comes up, who knows? I don't think any of these are going to do really well. Sorry, I should not have talked shit. The Amare, straight up, beautiful. By the way, if you are testing your knives for that, or even if you're using it, clean that crap off. It gets corrosive on the blades. The Asher, pretty good. Pretty good. Could be better, but at least you can get some sparks out there. And now the Bugout. Bugout's not too bad. The best one with the best edge, though, is absolutely the Field Bro. Interesting. I just thought I'd test that out and see what would happen. So, anyway, there's some really, really good alternatives to spending the money for the Bugout. I think you get, at least with these two guys, I think you get a lot more knife for the money. I think even if the Bugout was priced the same as these, you would still get a lot more knife for your money. So, in order of preference, this is just me, I would prefer, it's actually, well, I gotta be honest, it'd be the Amare Field Bro, the Asher Nomad, the Bugout, and then the Walmart knife. I would carry this knife, though, with no shame. I would carry this knife feeling like I had a decent knife in my hand. This, for its price at $9, is amazing. You know, what it will do for you. But anyway, there you go. So, I've individually showed options to the Bugout. I wanted to do a little roundup of what I thought would be my top 3 choices to replace the Bugout, if that's what I was after. Maybe you have another knife in mind that you think would do as good or better. Feel free to put it in the comments. Maybe some of these knives surprised you. Maybe not. I don't know. But let me know what you think. Which of these would you most like to have in your pocket? What do you think would be the best replacement for a Bugout on a just the whole thing, knife per knife basis? And what are your thoughts on the Bugout in general? I'm curious. I'd like to know. So anyway, guys, thanks for spending a little bit more time on the Group W bench with me. Yeah, it's the Group W bench. Remember that you are all absolutely awesome, and I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll be back again real soon.